Hi, welcome back to the second video of the third module of the free online course offered by the ODG about EU cross-border cooperation. In this second video, we are going to learn how to work with online mapping tools, but not starting from zero, but starting from already existing database. We are going to learn how to work with those data, how to customize our maps, and how to share them on our platforms or in other online tools. The idea is that we learn how to do things with some databases that we provide you, but you can look also for other databases and you can keep explore things you can do with Carto, and we are here to help you with everything you may need. So let's start. Okay, let's start from the information you have in the module outline 3. You will see that there are different databases you can take the information from, and if you want, you can also explore other databases. For this example, I will take files from the protected areas and for the gas and oil maps. You will see that there are different web pages where you can download the files. I have already downloaded them. Please bear in mind that there are different types of GIS data files. Usually you will find either shapefiles or JSON. So there's no problem with the Carto platform because it can read a lot of different types of files, but please consider that they are in the appropriate format. So I have already downloaded the files I will use. There are those two. You can see that there are different type of files, but there's no problem because once we go to our Carto platform again, we will start as we did in the first part of the assignment. We create a new map, and instead of creating an empty map, we will create a map from datasets. Okay, I have here some datasets we created before. And as you can see, I have the terrestrial map and the oil and gas maps. I have already uploaded them because it's a bit long to do, but you can easily do that connecting datasets. You can browse in your PC, select the data you want to upload, and then it will appear here. You can also use other layers from the data library from Carto, and here you can find boundaries or census. It is actually a really complete library. If you want to use some of them, you can also have a look here. But for this example, as I mentioned before, we are going to use the oil, gas, and map, and it's a points layer, and the terrestrial one, which is actually polygons. We haven't seen this in the first tutorial, but you will also find, you can find layers with polygons, layers with points, and layers with lines. Okay, so let's select one of those. Let's try with the terrestrial one to create the map. Okay, this is a map where you will find the ecoregions in the world. Let's have a look. If you go to data here, you will see that, as I mentioned before, it's a polygon layer, and you have here information about the protected area, the ecoregions, which are strings but actually numbers, and about the biome or the name of the ecoregion. Okay, so here you can see the information you have, and if we go back to the map, we can have a proper look on what can we see on the map. As you can see here, now everything is painted with a plain color, so we cannot really see the differences. We can see boundaries from probably different regions, but we cannot really appreciate different regions. So first thing we are gonna do, for example, is to paint it with different colors so we can see different things. So if we start with the color, you can see here now we have just a plain color, but we can decide to color our map depending on a value, one of the values we have seen in the data, in that database, in the table. So if we selected, for example, the biome we want to represent on the map, we can just go for biome, and it will automatically give to every biome different color. Here you can see the biomes in the map and the color, and you can see it also on the map itself. Okay, so you can also decide the color and the thickness of the lines between borders of regions of values. I will leave it white because I think it's quite clear. And in this case, may be useful to have a legend on the map. So we will keep it here. You can also modify the legend, customizing it yourself. But remember, if you modify something, for example, I can change here the name, and write whatever I think it's appropriate. And remember, you will be modifying only the legend, but not the map itself. Okay, so I would just suggest to keep and stick to the automatic legend if you want to put one. Remember that the legends do occupy space. So for example, in this map, we will have to move if we want to see some regions. So just keep the legend if it's really useful. If not, we don't need it, and we can work just with the pop-ups as we were working before. And for example, now here I don't have images for every biome, so I can just stick to the pop-up to the white one, for example, the white one. And I can select the items I want to represent, just as we did in the first exercise. Okay, so the ecoregions, the biomes, for example, and the ID. It will be just a number, but it will work to have an idea of the region we are talking about. So if we click on the area, we will have the information we are showing. And I want to have first, for example, the biome information. So I just put it first here. Okay, so once we have done that it's actually what we have been learning during the first video, we will also learn how to work with different layers in the same map. Okay, so here we have the first layer of the terrestrial data sets we have downloaded before, but we can add a new one. Okay, so we go to add, and we want to add the data set of the oil and gas points. We add it to our layer, and it will appear to our map. Okay, we can do exactly the same as we did before. We can, for example, if, I don't know, red dots, they do not fit in our map and we prefer to have them black, as an example, we can modify them. It's easy. I think if you practice a bit with the information we gave you in the first video, then we can also give to the points a pop-up. So if you want, you can also work with pop-ups for the dots, and we will have different information, but actually we don't have many information here. We can have a look on the table, the information we have, and I think it's more interesting just to have them on the map and not to see all the information. Remember, sometimes less is more, so let's stick to the information about the biomes. Okay. You will see on once you're done with your map, you can also add widgets. Widgets will make things easier to understand for people who's having a look to your map. Because, for example, if I choose to represent the ecoregions, for example, okay? Let's keep with continue. We have the possibility to color themselves the ecoregions instead of the biomes we have selected previously, okay? If we want to represent both ecoregions and biomes, for example, I can select here again biomes as well. And so people that will be having a look to the map can select themselves if they want to see the ecoregions or the biomes. So you select ecoregions and you can see the biomes. Okay, so when we share the map, people can decide themselves. And if we want to, we can actually add more widgets, for example. And it depends on the type of the data we have. We can see, for example, here, those are related with the layers of the dots, B0, and those are related with the polygon layers, so the A0. And we can decide, for example, to include this one, information about the gas map as well. So we can include, I would suggest you not to include so many widgets because sometimes it's too much information. So just stick to maybe 2 or 3, and you will see them published on your map as well. Okay, so feel free to play with things you want to share with people who will see and who will have the opportunity to play with your map. But do not put too many information on the map. If not, then there will be too much information and people will be lost in your map, okay? And now that we have both layers, we have to remember to save our map, okay? For example, now I made a mistake because this map has no name. And as I said before, this should be one of the first things we do. And I will call it module 3 part 2, for example. And we will publish it, okay? As I said in the first video, Carto is a free online mapping tool, and unless we pay for the advanced properties, the only way we have to save our maps is to publish them, okay? So they will be public and other people will be able to see them if we share the link with them. And okay, once we publish it, we can choose between getting the link or embed it to one of our websites, just as the websites we were having a look on the first video of this module. To keep it simple, we will just get the link, for example, and copy paste it where we want to show it to our friends or our colleagues, okay? So publish our map. Getting the link, for example, I will copy it to save it to my assignment. And once we are done, we will see our map on our dashboard. Okay, so that's the map we were building. Please feel free to play with all the datasets you can find, and if you can find more, it's even better. Do not hesitate to share links of datasets with your colleagues if you think it can be useful for everyone. And I will be available to help you with technicalities or doubts you may have about this exercise. Remember, you have to represent as good as you can your project, your case study. So use the database that better fits to your case studies, and please include the information you have already been working on during the first part of the assignment. So for any doubt, you can mail me to gaia.delia@odg.cat and enjoy this second part of the activity, and we'll keep in touch for further information.